Hello all. Well, last video we were talking about the Shell oil rig that was stuck up in the Gulf of Alaska. Why don't we go get an update on that? The oil rig Tatata is stuck on the Sakataka Island, and Shell isn't sure whether they'll get this rig off the shores before the 2013 drilling season, get it repaired and back up and running and in place. This is the second rig they've lost up there in less than a year, and they're wanting to still drill. Greenpeace says it would be highly unlikely they could even recover this rig. Alright, let's take a look. So here's the island, and it's basically a cliff with a seabed like this, and here's the water. I don't know if you can see this, but my pen is starting to get a... Oh, there. Look at that. That came right off the pen. You know, this pen's going to end up with this pen pretty soon, huh? Alright, so anyway, the water comes out here. This drilling rig is gigantic. The thing's shaped sort of like this, like a bathtub. And then it has these sides, and then the deck is sort of like this, and then there's another deck below this, and more decks underneath here, with a giant derrick on top, like this. And this part's open, sort of through here. The rest of it's enclosed. Well, apparently the waves have been so huge that the things are crashing over into this derrick, which, by the way, has a helipad on it, a giant one. And I've seen pictures of people on this thing. This thing is as big as a city, almost. And the waves were so big it was crashing into the oil rig, which is being pushed up on the shore. This part of the oil rig is damaged, as you can imagine, being slammed back and forth into the rocks. The water has broken through into the watertight doors, sealed doors. The watertight sealed doors to keep the water from going into this thing. And down here, where the emergency generators are stored, let me say that again. Where the emergency generators are stored, those doors were breached also, and the emergency generators no longer work, making it very doubtful they'll even be able to get the water out of it. So it looks like this thing will either become part of the coast for 200 or 300 years with their toxic oil. They have low sulfur. They have 150,000 gallons of low sulfur diesel, and they have several thousand gallons of other toxic waste, toxic chemicals that are kept in this thing. And since the emergency hatches are all being breached, it looks like there'll be another spill up in the Arctic because the emergency generators didn't work. Right there should tell you something about... Oh, never mind. Okay, and now let's go take a look at barges in San Francisco Bay. It's pretty foggy out. Maybe we can see good enough to see some. Yesterday there were 6 barges in San Francisco Bay, which supply oil to northern, central, and southern California, and also parts of Oregon. It's a bit foggy. So unfortunately we don't know how many barges there are in the bay. I think there's probably about 6. There's been 6 every day for the last several weeks. Well, let's go see what the Brent crude is doing lately. We use this to judge on when the economy has the next chance of crashing because of oil prices going above $120. That's the only reason we pay attention to that. Our eraser's fallen into 2 pieces now. Don't know what we're going to do. Well, let's go ahead and look at the Brent crude. Hopefully the eraser will make it. Okay, we started at 111.4, dribbled up and down, almost made it to 111.6, but didn't. Fell down to 110.8, which is hardly anything. Dribbled, went back up, down to 110.6, which is still hardly anything. Then went back up to the starting point of 111.4. Please support our eraser. And let's go see what gasoline prices are doing. An expensive gas station. Expensive gas station. Okay, welcome to Studio 7 once again. We do a lot of videos here because it's so quiet and there aren't too many people around. So, what is my channel about? My video channel is basically about transportation fuels. Transportation is the main topic. The way it works is that we can tell what's going to happen in the future a little bit by 3 major events that happen each time, and we can tell what maybe is going to come in the future. First ones is oil barges on San Francisco Bay. High number is 10, a low number is 0. 0 means prices are going to go up for gasoline and transportation fuels. Okay, then we have Brent crude, which we use because they take most of the gasoline and transportation fuels out of that oil, no longer using sweet crude out of Texas and other parts of the world, because that is all used up. That was the low sulfur oil that was very runny, liquidy. Now they're into the thick, hard tar type oil. So we cover that. Then the third thing is the gasoline prices. Also about Brent crude, if Brent crude goes above $120 a barrel, it means that the economy is probably going to go into a recession, depression worldwide. What else do I cover? I also cover politics, such as I can't stand the corporate politics that goes on these days. Corporations put up these puppets called DNR, Republican and Democrat, and they're exactly the same. And they either get one or the other in, they don't really care which one. And the sheeple keep voting the politicians in that we have. And just look at the appointees that Obama is making these days. Mostly right-wing, mostly Republican. You'd expect that. I question whether we'll have Social Security for much longer. The country's going to go, well, anyway. So anyway, we cover politics once in a while when I can stomach it. We also cover the environment, what happens by the use of fossil fuels, such as the oil rig grinding ashore up in the Gulf of Alaska. And of course, it's an environmental catastrophe that's going to happen there. And drilling in the ocean up in Alaska is just ridiculous to begin with. It looks like they're going to continue, and Obama's not doing anything to stop it. We also cover protests, such as the Keystone Pipeline protests. I know they don't get much coverage, so we try and give a little bit ourselves. The last thing is, what is the purpose of Pink Barrio? The purpose of Pink Barrio, in which I embed my video, is about removing corporatists and corporations from the world by doing it legally through your money, where you spend your money. Do you spend it in a corporate store? Do you spend it on corporate gas stations by driving a lot? Big SUVs, anything like that we cover. And Pink Barrio is more of a local event for San Francisco and the world, but it's more on a political, but it also can have some interesting articles about church choirs, that kind of thing. So, you know, when you go there, you never know what you're going to read. And I am part of that, and we really all push for the support of non-corporate stores. That's how we fight the right, is that we support single owner, non-corporate stores that sell to the 99%, us. So if you need an invitation, you can go to Pink Barrio and get an invitation. It was made by one person or two people, a group of people making cards, 2 or 3, maybe a family, but they're not connected with corporations, and it's all done on the internet, so it's environmentally friendly. You don't spend all that time and effort buying something, going from store to store, burning up all that fuel, when you could just go online and do it and save yourself all that and save the environment. Yeah, there's a cost for transportation, but that's true with any item you buy. It all has transportation costs behind it. And Pink Barrio, we believe these are the most friendly and environmental non-corporate stores there are. So support Pink Barrio by going and buying something. If we get enough money someday, we'll be able to upgrade all this equipment and really give you a nice report. But it wouldn't change. It's still the same, kind of more like a blog. So I hope that helps, and I hope I covered everything. I think I have. And again, thank you for the new subscribers. If you guys have any thoughts about what Obama's doing, you know, with these horrible right-wing picks he's doing for the War Department and Pentagon and all this stuff. And he's putting in somebody, this Hagel person that, you know, is anti-gay. And what, Obama? Did you learn anything? I thought you had progressed. What happened? Anyway, guys, till next time.